Hi everyone, I am Priyanshu Gupta and I am the founder of Prysm. Prysm is an attempt to make stock research and investing as simple as possible to help you convert stock insights and your ideas into actions at the right time. In this video, I will cover an in-depth walkthrough of this platform so that it's crystal clear for you on how to use Prysm's features effectively. So once you visit our website on prysm.fi, you will land on this page and I will create a fresh new account so that the whole journey is relatable. Once you create your account, you will land on this page. This is basically the dashboard where you can track or manage all the things collectively at one place. So before we proceed further, let me switch to the dark mode because I like that more. So here, as you can see, we have all the prompts that are most important right now because these are based on the most recent activities that have been taking place in the world right now, the macro trends, sector tailwinds, etc. And these are basically covering all the different use cases. There are some prompts for your portfolio and some prompts are for screener to screen the stocks effectively, and some prompts are for stock research. Though I will come to each of these things later on in a more detailed fashion. This is just a basic overview. And you can see all the market highlights here, the top screeners and all the news and events. But you might be seeing a lot of empty blocks here. It's because right now we have not added any stock to the watch list and also have not connected our Demat account. So before we proceed further, just to give you what's the difference between Prysm AI and the generic LLMs like ChatGPT, Claude, etc., I want to give you a quick overview about the responses of Prysm AI. So let's go to INDIGO because I think you must be aware about what's happening with the stock. The stock is seeing a lot of backlash and a down rally is going on here because of the mass flight cancellation by the airline. If you see this price chart, there's an interesting feature on Prysm where you can correlate all the events and news related to this stock to the price changes. So if you hover over this price chart, you can see there are various blue dots available over here. Now these dots can be of two kinds. One can be blue and other can be purple. Blue means there is a certain news that has happened related to this stock on this specific date. So if I click on this, you can see like what has happened on this date specifically, which will also give you the impact and also the sentiment of this specific news or filing that company has made to the exchange. So you can click on this view details to dive more deeper into this, but let's not focus on this much now. And also you can see how the volume has increased over the past few days. So now what I want to do is I want to basically know why the price is falling and what are the key levels that are important to me as an investor to make a right entry. Because if you believe in the aviation industry growth in India, I think this can be a great time to enter into the stock because it's available at huge discounts. Plus, INDIGO has a monopoly in India. So most probably this airline will continue to operate normally in some days. So let's try to figure out via our AI chatbot. So let's type our query in plain basic English. Why the stock is falling lately? Do a technical analysis and give me key levels to make a right entry into the stock. And here I am choosing strategic mode because this prompt is more strategic driven instead of analytical. Analytical makes more sense when you are doing a deep research into a stock. And here I am choosing web itself because I want this AI bot to take some reference from web as well. So I will click on this send button. And now you can see Prysm will give you a detailed thinking timeline of what all things are happening behind the scenes in order to be completely transparent. So as you can see here that it has fetched the latest con call transcript also to take some reference. Might be there's some issue from management side. Second, it has made a web search call which is completely detailed and it will give you all the results as well, like what all references it has taken from. You can click on this and go to these pages as well. And then what it is doing is it is trying to fetch the latest OHLCV data, like open, high, low, close, volume data, all the price data for different time frames, to make a detailed analysis on that. AI takes time because it has to go through a lot of data here. As you can see, it is going through Concorde transcript, it is going through all the web results, then it is going through huge candlestick data as well. So as you can see over here, on late November and early December, INDIGO faced massive operational issues, including widespread flight cancellations and delays, and all these details are there which you can go through. And these cancellations have primarily happened because of new official governing rules regarding the duty hours and rest periods for pilots, which was further enhanced by technical glitches, weather delays, and also airport congestions. So as you can see over here, it has given me 3 support levels and also the resistance levels as well. First support is at 4842, then 4500, and then year to date swing low of 3945. So basically what I can do is, as a smart investor or a trader, I can monitor these support levels, and at each support level I can make a small entry. Now if I go to ChatGPT and ask the same question, let's see how it responds. Okay, so I have done this already over here. So it also gives me a thinking timeline, what all things it did behind the scenes. So basically it did the web search as was done by Prysm as well. You can see all the sources also. And then it is preparing a technical analysis for INDIGO stock using RSI, MACD and other key indicators. But for that particular thing also, what it has done is, it has tried to get the stock prices from web itself. So all these sources are reliable, but still, if you are getting the data from web, there can be a lot of issues, because when you interpret all these things via web scraping, a small decimal change can also affect the whole analysis. So that interpretation is not very reliable on web scraping. That's why instead of relying on that, what we do is we have a reliable data source vendor from which we outsource data from, and we leverage that to provide it to AI agent correctly. Also, we try maximum times that we calculate all these technicals like RSI, MACD and other technical indicators by ourselves behind the scenes using traditional coding, instead of relying on the calculations made by AI agent, because AI agents are not very much efficient with mathematical calculations in real time, specifically the generic LLMs. There can be certain models which are efficient, but I feel these small calculations are like overkill for these AI agents. So instead of giving this responsibility also to AI agents, we should reduce the work of AI agent by making it do what things matter the most to prevent hallucination. So here what it has done is it has taken all the livestock prices from all these websites, and then it has made these support levels. So as you can see over here, the immediate resistance levels, it is quite near, but this will be more accurate because of the calculations that we are doing on our servers behind the scenes. Now moving further, what we will do is we will first connect our Demat account to Prysm, so that Prysm is aware about everything, and then explore all the features, because once we connect our Demat account, we can explore all other features collectively from our portfolio page itself. So let's go to portfolio, and here you can click on this button, and there are 2 ways through which you can connect your Demat account. One is via available integrations provided here. Like if your Demat account is in these brokers, you can connect them very easily. But if your broker is not available on the platform right now, first you can of course request the broker integration, and we will try our best to get that included in the platform. Or other way around is using the virtual account. Basically what you can do is you can go to your broker, export your portfolio holdings in the Excel or CSV file, and then create on this thing, create the name, and then you can do the manual entries also, like by searching your stock. Or what you can do is you can upload your CSV file here, and it's not restricted to any specific formatting. You can upload the CSV or Excel file in any format as given by your broker. Our AI will basically understand that and will convert that into our formatting. So right now what I will do is I will connect one Zerodha account here. What we are doing is basically we are fetching all your holdings and syncing all the metrics to show up here. And don't worry, this is completely secure, because what we do is we first of all store all your credentials in a safe vault in encrypted format. So even if we lose our database, no one can access your credentials. Second, we only get the reading permissions from your broker, like for Zerodha, and for some brokers you can select what all permissions you want to give to Prysm. Third, your credentials automatically expires by the end of the day. Now once your portfolio is connected successfully, you will see this type of view on your portfolio section. You will see total invested amount, your current value, your unrealized PNL, today's PNL, your holdings, overall score. And before we proceed further, I want to make things clear that this portfolio is not mine. This is a sample portfolio and it has a mix of stocks. Some good stocks are also there, some bad stocks are also there, and some average stocks are also there, as we want our AI agent to be able to judge them properly. That's why I have done this. So if you see over here, you can see the overall score, the risk score, fundamental score, diversification score. Now risk score is the risk associated with your portfolio based on volatility, beta, alpha, and monthly VAR and Sharpe ratio. Basically all the risks, like how volatile your portfolio is, like if Nifty moves up or down, then with what percentage your portfolio also moves. So all these factors are taken into consideration to give this risk score. The higher the risk score, the better your portfolio risk management is. Second, we have the fundamental score. This is a weighted average of the Prysm scores of all your portfolio holdings. So let me first tell you what Prysm score is. Prysm score right now uses historical 5-year financial data, including TTM metrics, and justifies the overall comparative analysis of stock within the industry, considering the fundamentals and current valuations. So it doesn't take into considerations the price performance, the technical metrics, and the qualitative data. It only focuses on the fundamentals and the valuations. So it mainly helps with understanding the stock's overall background, whether it's sensible to make the entry right now, and whether a drop in score is a signal to rethink holding it. Of course, exceptions are there, like it's not 100% accurate. There can be some exceptions where the stock depends more on the recent news or developments or macro trends. So let's take an example, okay? Let's go to the holding section of our portfolio and then edit the columns and add Prysm score as well, and then rank them on the basis of the Prysm score. Now if you see, Transrail has given us the highest Prysm score. So let's go into the stock and see why this is so. You can see that in the past 1 month it has fallen by 11.16%, but still the score is good. So this can happen because according to the score, the fundamentals are good. On the right side, everything is in green, excellent and good condition. Even if you see the graphs, everything is fine. This score also takes into consideration the sector in which the stock belongs to, and accordingly prioritize those metrics which are important for analyzing this particular segment. So from that perspective, everything looks good, but still the price is falling. There can be certain reasons for that, like recent management commentary or the sector rotation, or maybe profit booking, because if you see over here, it went up and then fall back. So it can be due to profit booking also, sector rotation also, or some recent negative news. That can be for short term or long term, but that's what we will try to figure out here. So here fundamentals are fine, and according to this thing, you can see that it is, the price has fallen now, so it's in buy zone. Basically it's fair valued. So that's why from valuations also it is justified. But now it becomes a very important thing before you decide to make an entry into the stock. First you will have to know why this price has fallen, okay? So what I will do is I will write a query over here, and since it's more a research based query, because I want to know why the price has fallen in the past few days. What I'll do is I will switch to analytical mode and then write the prompt here, why this stock price has fallen in the past few days. Now it will try to fetch all the relevant data. Now it is trying to get all the price data also. It is getting all the additional metrics of the stock from our database directly, and our database is reliable because everything is stored in a SQL database with all the checks. Now it is trying to retrieve the industry metrics also to understand its industry. And instead of waiting here, I have already made this query earlier to save time. So as you can see in the timeline, it has tried to fetch everything like the industry metrics, income statements, the recent news also, and also it has made the web query to see if anything else is also there which is driving its downfall. And then it has also fetched the latest con call report also, like if anything bad from the management side or if anything that they were not able to fulfill recently. So here, as you go further, you can see that there was a bearish movement here. There was a profit booking, sector rotation and market dynamics. Basically the problem with working capital days, like it has increased from 74 to 84. The receivables have increased, and also there was one very important thing that has triggered this downfall. Monitor revenue catch up from monsoon delayed projects. So it was a monsoon season recently and a lot of projects were delayed because of rain. So that was also very important concern with this stock, because their primary business is building transmission lines and towers and substations. So these type of projects get affected by the rains, which further contributes to revenue delays. So that was one concern, but this company is doing great, I will say, because I also did one more query, like what's the business mode of this company and what is unique about this and what are the future plans. So if you see over here, it has strong backward integration, manufacturing capabilities, it has great EBITDA margin growth, in-house manufacturing of conductors, poles and towers, plus it has revenue source from both international and domestic players, great order book, so the revenue is very much secured from this order book, plus great valuations right now. So this was one thing. So coming back to the fundamental score, so this fundamental score is a weighted average of the Prysm score of all your portfolio stocks. Then this diversification score, what it does is it finds out how well your portfolio capital is deployed into various stocks and sectors. And this diversification score is important because it helps you to mitigate your risk profile in case of any downturns in any particular stock or sectors, and further help you leverage the growth across different sectors. Now regarding the Prysm score, there can be some cases where the score can be bad too, but that stock is good. So let's take an example of one more stock, that is HBL Engineering, I think one of the most popular stock recently in the auto segment. So if we go to this stock, you can see that score is not very good, but if you see the 1 year time frame, it has given a 29.22% increase, plus it went up to 1004 as well. So it gave like around, like it gave to me, like I was also invested in this stock, it gave me 70% of returns in a very short duration. But right now the scores are not very good. It can be because of the valuations, and this score used to be very good when it was in this zone, but when it went up, the score went bad because the valuations were not good at that time. If you see in this graph of PE chart, historical PE chart, you can see that this was the sell zone or maybe overvalued zone where the PE ratio went up to 71.18, making it highly overvalued. Because of that, the Prysm score became bad. And whenever you see certain instances, right, what you can do is you can click on this Y button over here and ask Prysm AI, like why this score is like this right now. because if you see over here, all the fundamentals are good, but still the stock Prysm score is like not very good in average zone. Now it has improved, like the valuations are now improving, so that's why it has improved also. But at this time the score used to be in 40s also. And in order to inspect this in more detail, what I did was I made one query earlier. Let me show you that. Like, why the stock is falling after giving a great rally? Is it just because of profit booking, or there are some other reasons too? Because whenever you analyze any stock, you should be aware why the stock is falling first of all, or why the stock is increasing. So here first was profit booking, second was management caution. So this is very important and something which Prysm did very well if I compare it with other generic LLMs. So what it told me, during the recent Q2 FY26 earning announcements, management indicated that the exceptional performance seen in Q2 should not be expected to repeat consistently in future quarters. So if you see over here, the quarterly results of this company, it was a huge increase in revenue in the latest quarter. Also, the net profit also increased by huge percentage here. So management has clearly mentioned over here that this should not be expected to repeat consistently in future quarters. So all those people who have made profits in this stock made a profit booking in the stock. Though the stock is good, still good, but still it was at overvalued zone at that time. Then it has also done technical analysis also, and then market sentiment and macro factors also. But the main point was this one. And when I asked this same question to ChatGPT, so it was able to show me that it was due to profit booking. Like it has mentioned that price jumped, then reversed partly the next session as traders booked gains. So this was also one point and a valid reason as well. Profit booking behavior, a valid point as well. But it was not able to capture that particular point about the management, what they clearly signaled in the recent conference. And why our AI bot was able to do that? Because if you see that this timeline, it has also taken reference from the latest con call transcript, which ChatGPT do not have access to. It can maybe, like if it's able to find out that document via web scraping, then it might be, but it's not 100% guaranteed or assured. But here we make sure that this context from the latest con call transcript is always provided to the AI agent. So that is also one differentiator. Now coming back here, these are basic pie charts, like donut charts, where you can see how well your portfolio is distributed into multiple caps on the basis of current value, amount invested, and then PNL. Similarly, you can see how well your portfolio is diversified on the basis of the current value, amount invested, and then you can also see how much PNL you are making across various sectors. Then coming to SWOT analysis, what all strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats your portfolio has. So you can see in the strengths, like there is 79% of my portfolio with PEG less than 1, so which is a very good sign. But if I want to know what stocks it is talking about, I will have to upgrade. So to upgrade, what I will do is, right now you basically get a 7-day pro access. You have to provide your phone number, then connect your Demat account, and then join our WhatsApp community. So once you do that, automatically this will get activated, and then you can basically activate this trial. And if you like this, you can later shift on to the pro plan and continue availing all the services that we offer. So I will click on this activate trial now, and then get started. And then I will again go to portfolio side. Now if you see over here in the undervalued stocks, you can see that most of my portfolio stocks have PEG less than 1, and you can see here there is one stock called as TOLINS here. Now if I go to this segment here, weaknesses, and if I explore this card of significant losses, you can see TOLINS here as well. Now even after having a very good PEG score, TOLINS has also given a huge losses recently. And if I check the Prysm score of TOLINS, you can see it is very bad here, which is 36. Now if we explore this, and also one important point that I have to cover over here, that if PG is less than 1, then generally it means good. It means that your PE is justified according to the growth that the company is making. So it's basically PE divided by the growth rate. But it can sometimes bad too, where it's possible that the profits are increasing, okay, the growth is good there for a company, but still the price is decreasing. Now that is something where you should be curious about and try to dig deep why the price is falling in those cases. Or it's also possible that the growth is constant but the price is decreasing. So at that time also PEG and PE can decrease also there. So that is what I will try to do with this specific stock, that is TOLINS. So here first let's try to identify why this Prysm score is bad. So first thing is, if you see over here, if I switch to this last 10 years data, only the past 2 years data is available because the stock got listed on exchange last year itself. So only 2 years data is available for the Prysm score evaluation. And as I mentioned before, Prysm score takes past 5 years historical data into consideration. So here comes the challenge. In the scenarios where enough data is not available, the past historical data is not available, Prysm score can be bad too in that particular cases. And you can also see that the stock prices has fallen drastically in the past 1 month. Now, in order to analyze such type of stocks, it makes more sense that you rely more on management commentary instead of the fundamentals, because enough data is not available. Though there is a quarterly data available, like this is quite enough. And if I go to advanced filters, click on QOQ changes, and even if I switch to YOY changes, you can see over here the last quarter was not very good for the stock. So this can be a good trigger point why the price is falling. The revenue has fallen, and if I go to net profits, there also the margins have decreased. And if we see the EBIT, that has also fallen by 40%. So analyzing such stocks, so it can be this first of all, but even if this fall is not there, then what you will do? So better to use this Prysm AI chat and switch to documents mode, because here it doesn't matter to look into the fundamentals or the financials because the data is limited. It makes more sense what management is talking about and what are its future plans. And then you can click on the source button and you can select what all documents you want to refer to. You can click on overall also, like it will reference all the documents. But if I want it to focus more on the recent commentary, like I want to focus on last 2 quarters, what management has talked about. So I will click on these specific documents and then make a prompt. And I have done this already for you to show you quickly. So here in this chat with Prysm AI, what I did was analyze the challenges faced by the company, reasons for bad results in Q2 FY 2026, and has management guided for any improvements, because this is very important for me. Should I hold the stock or I should make a exit? So what it has done is it has analyzed my request, then run a deep research mode to find the deep insights from the documents. Then it has tried to decompose my broad query into sub queries and try to find the relevant documents from our vector store database, and it has find out this con call transcript of past 2 periods, and then it made the comprehensive response. So if you see over here, first of all, if you notice, it has added the exact citations links over here. And what it do beautifully is, if you click on this, you will be navigated to the exact page of that PDF from where it has taken reference from, so that you can link the things. So here primary challenges, first was GST related demand deferment. So basically what has happened was there were anticipations of GST rate cuts. So that's why all the orders that this company has to get have been delayed because of that. So that's why their revenue has dropped significantly. Reduced throughput across manufacturing facilities. With lower volumes, the company faced challenges in absorbing fixed manufacturing and overhead cost efficiently, because the orders were decreased and there were fixed costs there. So that's why margins have also decreased. So primary reason was GST impact as mentioned by the management, and they are saying that they have also launched new products in the latest quarter which they feel will help in strengthening their revenue in the upcoming quarter. Then they are also talking about some geographic expansion in the upcoming quarter, increased presence in rural and semi-rural geographies, institutional clients, diversification, market focus. They have also mentioned in previous reports that they manage a huge inventory and their working capital days has increased. So for that, management has mentioned that they always talk for about 5 to 6 months of their next financial requirements to insulate from raw material price volatility. So that is something that management has cleared about as well. Management has also shown a confidence in recovery in the upcoming quarter, and they have the strategic clarity, like how will they improve their revenue and margins, and they have emphasized on operational improvement and market initiatives, long-term optimism, positive outlooks extending beyond immediate recovery to FY 2027. So the primary thing was that the GST, which has led to their bad results, can actually become a catalyst for the upcoming quarter, because now the GST rates have been reduced. Now they are expecting a good recovery, which will be reflected in their revenue and margins. So what I made a conclusion after reading all this was that I will wait for another more quarter. Of course, the risks are there, since it's a very small company. You can see the market cap is only 529 CR, and it's playing in a very niche segment of tires, which is already very competitive. So the risks are there, like how well the company executes what it has promised. So what I will do is I will wait for one more quarter, see if company is able to return back what they have promised. If they have not, then I will try to exit it. Now you can explore other cards as well over here in strengths, weaknesses, threats and opportunities. It will give you an overall view of what all things are happening in your portfolio, so that everything you can do at a single place itself. Now this is another interesting feature of a portfolio performance curve that we plot. Now since I have connected it just now, so it's not able to show me. But if I go to 1 year, first of all, I want to make one thing clear, that since it's a holding based portfolio, we don't have access to the transactions that you made, like what and when did you make that trade. So we can't calculate how your portfolio has actually moved over the time. So what we do right now is, once you connect, we take your current holding quantities, assume held them throughout the selected period, and plot the curve using your portfolio value at the starting point. Like basically, if you go here in starting, you can see that both these lines of Nifty 50 and your portfolio curve are starting from the same point. So what we do is we assume that what if we have invested the same amount into Nifty 50 as well, and then plot the curve over the period of time, like how your portfolio has performed from that point and how Nifty 50 has performed. So as you can see here, Nifty 50 has outperformed our portfolio in the last 1 year. So in this way, you can see how much your portfolio would have made in that time frame, keeping the quantities constant, and how that compares to the benchmark. Then coming to performance metrics, you can basically see the beta of your portfolio. It measures volatility, like how much a stock moves related to Nifty 50 over the past 1 year. Beta greater than 1 means more volatile, beta less than 1 means more stable. And if you want to know more about this, you can click on this, and basically our AI agent will give you the proper response, and then you can ask as many questions till you are fully satisfied. Then this Sharpe ratio is basically, it measures the efficiency of your portfolio, like how well your portfolio has returned for each unit of risk, taking the risk-free rate into consideration. If your Sharpe ratio is between 1 and 2, then it's excellent. Then alpha, it basically shows how much extra return a stock or your portfolio here earned compared to Nifty 50. Positive alpha means outperformance, negative means underperformance. So here it's a negative alpha, which totally means that our portfolio has not performed well. And as you all know, that past year was not very good for the Indian stock market. And here comes a performance score, which is also very average right now. And then here what you can see is overall fundamental metrics of your portfolio, like what is your average PE, what is your average ROC, debt to equity, PEG ratio. You can basically switch between valuation metrics, growth metrics, profitability, and track everything together in a holistic view. Then you can track all the quarterly results for your portfolio stocks here itself. here this Ease My Trip is a very bad stock. Management doesn't look much interested in the business. Also, the CEO has changed recently. Also, this company faced a recent scrutiny by ED. So, a lot of negative sentiments around this stock. Plus, this segment that they are working in, leisure segment, has become too competitive and the margins are very less. There are already big players in that segment like Make My Trip, Booking.com, etc. So, very low margins. But recently, this company has also acquired some other businesses in niche segments. So, they are trying to do a lot of things in a single go right now, trying to build an ecosystem, but it highly depends how well they executes. So not sure how this company will perform. So what we will do is we will ask Prysm AI to do a deep research on all these stocks of my holdings and then analyze and recommend me, I think, which you all must be most interested in, like which stocks should I continue holding and which stock I should take a exit. Okay, first of all, you should not ask these type of questions directly to AI because AI can do mistakes too. It's not like 100% sure of these. So instead of taking direct verdicts, you should try to cut your research via AI and then build your conviction on your own according to the insights what AI has highlighted and then take decisions. What I'll do is I will go to analytical mode and write the prompt, do a deep check and tell which stocks worth holding and which to sell. And if I show you the timeline, it has read through all my broker account details, retrieved all stocks with additional details. Then it also tried to fetch news for all these stocks that I hold. And you can go through these articles also if you want to. And then it, interestingly, this is very interesting. What it did was it queried our common information vector store for qualitative insights. And then it retrieved all the industry metrics and then the full code. So based on the research, what it did was, so first it just gave me a basic overview of my portfolio. Then it has mentioned the stocks which are of high concern. So it has mentioned Ease My Trip here because of the huge loss of 48%, weak fundamentals, extremely overvalued, negative PAT, recent issues like large 50.96 crore provision for unrecoverable airline operator dues, ED search at premises. So a lot of negative sentiment and negative financials. Then talking about TOLINS, because as we discussed earlier also about TOLINS, that the latest quarterly results were not very good. Prysm Score is bad, but that is something that we have already discussed. It has given the verdict of sell because of weak growth, high competition and better alternatives available in the market. This is something which you can take into consideration, but as we have already done a deep research, I will try to basically wait for another quarter also, see how well the management executes. Then third stock is Jindal SAW. It has also seen a loss of 39.3%. Prysm Score is okayish because of the valuations, first of all, because price has fallen, so it automatically improves the valuations. But if you see here, PAT dropped by 364 crores to 79 crores QOQ. Technically weak, so severe operational challenges, cash flow issues, better steel stocks available. Tata Motors passenger vehicles, so huge loss as you can see over here. Fundamentals are okayish. Recent issues, a JLR cyber incident caused this much loss. P is low. This is very low because of the one-time profit gain because of that demerger happened recently, right, in Tata Motors of TMPV and commercial vehicles separately. A lot of concerns regarding this passenger vehicles, but I don't want to go deep dive into this right now. Then it has mentioned that hold with caution. So Birlasoft, again, like CEO was reappointed. Then also IT sector recovery potential, but we will have to monitor the quarterly results. A lot of competition is also arising in this IT segments and margins are less. So IT segment is also facing a lot of turbulence recently in India. Then Tanla, hold again. Pennar India being cyclic, hold. Tata Elxsi, hold. Bank of Maharashtra, Newland Laboratories. So it will give you everything. Like the primary reason why I'm doing this, to show you that it tries to analyze all your holdings from all the angles. It has checked the gain, performance, fundamentals, recent developments like the qualitative insights, then the positives like strong profit growth history, and then it give you the reason behind the decision that it has made. Pharma growth story, R&D investment promising. Then insecticides, again agrochemical play, monsoon dependency but good fundamentals. Positives are a double-digit growth guidance, sustainable focus. So it covers not only the past historical data but also the futuristic metrics also. So that is what distinguishes us. Then we have Shilcher Tech in buy zone, I will say hold and add on dips. Then HBL Engineering, hold and partial profit booking. So it will do a deep analysis and at the end will give you a quick conclusion of all the decisions that it has made. Now before we proceed further, like I wanted to compare this specific prompt with the Claude as well. Basically on Claude we have the Zerodha MCP integration. So we will try to replicate the same prompt over there and try to see if this response is better than that or not. Okay, so here you can see that I have already connected my Zerodha MCP with the Claude. Now what I have done is I have asked the same prompt, like do a deep check and tell me which stocks are worth holding and which to sell. So it has tried to get all the quote data from Zerodha MCP. This is one plus point because here it is getting data, reliable data from MCP server directly. So here that problems that we faced in ChatGPT, that the data was not reliable, here that problem is solved because it is getting real-time data also. But the problem is, first of all, MCP servers are not available for all the brokers. It's only available for Zerodha and Grow right now. Second, still it doesn't have access to all the qualitative data that we maintain on Prysm. Further, it does not have access to reliable financial data also, like all the quarterly results, the revenue, profit margins, balance sheets, income statements, everything. It only has access to what API endpoints Zerodha exposes to this Claude. So Zerodha right now exposes only the price endpoints, your portfolio endpoints, the positions endpoints. So these endpoints are only available. Here you can see that it has tried to get the Tata Elxsi stock outlook from web. So all data here you can see it is trying to get it from web itself. Again the same problem, that there can be inconsistencies and delays also on other platforms. And it's not every time guaranteed that it will take reference from the trusted source. So here you can see that it has given me immediate sales for EaseMyTrip, Jindal Saw, Tata Elxsi, and it has also given me the sales for Shilcher Tech, TMPV, Bsoft, Samhi. Okay, so basically what it has done is it has asked me to book losses in all these stocks which I am bleeding in. So it has not taken any other metric into consideration. It has just analyzed the stocks holdings just on the basis of the losses that I have made and had not considered the financials and the futuristic growth scope of all these stocks. So that is a one very big negative point about this. And then I also asked it to rebalance my portfolio. So what it did was, your portfolio has 18 out of 29 stocks losing money, too many weak small mid caps, over exposure to bleeding stocks, under exposure to strong sectors. Okay, fine. Now what it does is, in phase 1, it exited 15 stocks immediately and generate 10.14 lakhs cash. Now this is something which is not possible in real time scenario. Anyone will not sell all these holdings in a single go and then rebuild with quality, deploy cash into 12 new positions. And it has also added random stocks as well, like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Bajaj Finance, Infosys, like all the safe bets. But I am a aggressive investor and I want to invest in stocks with great future potential. So that's why this portfolio was built. So with that aim, this doesn't make any sense. So it has not basically understood my risk appetite and adjust accordingly. So with this thing, I was not totally satisfied. Okay. Now the same prompt I ran on Prysm as well. So now what I will do is, I will go to my portfolio here. What I will do is, I will click on strategic mode because here I want to build a rebalancing strategy, and I will switch to balanced mode so that it thinks properly before giving me the response back, thus thereby improving the quality. So what I will do is, I will copy this same prompt here which I used here. Should I rebalance my portfolio? If yes, how? You can also take reference from these pre-built prompts if you want to. So as you can see over here, while preparing a rebalancing strategy for me, it has taken all my holdings into consideration. Then it has fetched all the necessary metrics that it needs for all these stocks. Then it has tried to get the qualitative insights also from our vector store database, and then has tried to retrieve all the news and then events. So here it has first given me a basic overview. The portfolio is slightly under water with a high realized volatility and a low Sharpe ratio, skewed to many small and mid cap names with several large drawdowns. Exposures, strong quality mid caps to consider. Risk concentration, defensive balance, current value. See, it has tried to identify the negative traits of each stocks as well, like what is wrong with the stock. This is a positive sign for Transrail, and then low debt to equity for Geo Financials. Confirm your objective. So it is asking me to provide it more details as well so that it can customize the response accordingly. Specific trimming within 2 to 6 weeks. So instead of saying like exit them completely, it has given me a dedicated plan, like how should I proceed with, which is a more reasonable and practical approach for rebalancing such a large portfolio. So it has recommended me to trim positions with Prysm score less than 40 and drawdowns greater than 20% and small market cap. Examples from your book Ease My Trip, Easmo, TOLINS. Reduce each to at most 2 to 4% of the portfolio value. So it has not recommended me to completely remove them. It has just recommended me to reduce the position size. Trim single stock position risk. No single small cap should be greater than 5% of portfolio. Right now it is not aware about how aggressive I want to play, so that's why. After trimming, allocate to high quality core names with good scores and catalysts like Transrail, MapMyIndia, Wabag, Geofin Union Bank. Take profits. So it has also given me now further actions that I can take, like option A, option B, option C, and then it has also recommended me to do a deep dive before proceeding. So basically it has given me the proper analyze pages of all these stocks if I want to dig deeper for these stocks as well. If we compare properly between Prysm and the Claude and MCP server integration, what all primary differences that come up? So for that, what I have done is I have prepared a graph. Okay, I have prepared a proper diagram to explain you the differences between Prysm and Claude. So basically, if you see here, whenever you write a prompt and pass it to Prysm, this Prysm basically analyzes your prompt and it uses the agentic orchestration which has access to all these specific tools and data. So it has access to all the exchange filings, it has access to all the con calls, investor presentations, annual reports. It has access to financial data in our structured database storage. Then, okay, this thing is repetitive. I think this has to be technicals. Okay, and then it also has access to web also. So it takes everything into consideration before giving you the response back. If we compare the Claude, ChatGPT Perplexity, and if we integrate them with MCP, so what data they will have access to? First is all the exposed endpoints from Claude and Zerodha, which are basically only the full quote endpoints, the price of all your holdings and the positions. Only that it has access to. Second is web. They can optimize their web queries and selection of the targeted resources also, but still I feel there is not full reliability over there, specifically if we are talking about taking financial decisions. So this is a diagram to show you how the AI agent orchestration works. So basically we have an AI agent specifically designed for that particular use case. So we have a fundamental agent in which we have used fine tuning also. We have also done a refined system prompt engineering for this specific agent so that it do the fundamental analysis in the best way possible. Then we have the portfolio analyzer. Then we have the technical analysis agent, which has access, and all these agents have access to various different tools specific to their niche. Then we have a screener agent basically to convert your prompt into a structured query to filter the stocks. That part I have not shown yet. I will show you later. And then we also have this RAG vector store, which stores all the raw documents like all the con call reports, annual reports, investor presentations, exchange filings, because generally extracting the data out of these raw PDFs is very difficult. So that's what this RAG solves. And then we have a persistent memory to save all the financial data. Plus we also store the memory specific to you as well. So basically our AI agents adapt as you talk with them to understand you better, and AI agent basically learns about how you trade or how you invest, so it will give you much better responses with time. And then it has access to broker connect APIs. So we have done a deep integration with all the brokers that we have listed. Some brokers are left, we will include them as well. So all the endpoints that MCP server provides, we have access to that as well here. So as I mentioned before, specialized AI agents like fine-tune for financial data, detailed prompt engineering agent for specific use case. And since we have reduced their work, we have restricted their use for specific thing. Like basically when you make a query and that depends on multiple AI agents, we break that into multiple parts, and then each AI agent analyzes that query and give back the response to this orchestrator, and then orchestrator give you the response back. So this actually helps in reducing the hallucination, which is very evident if you keep on talking on these generic LLMs like Claude and ChatGPT. If you keep on talking to them and your chat history grows, after a certain point you will experience that the responses are not very good. AI agent will start making a lot of mistakes as well with the data, specifically if it involves so much quantitative data as well. So that's what Prysm solves. Now coming back here, this is also very interesting. You get all the portfolio news specific to your portfolio in one view itself, and this will give you a summary of all the news. Like there are 10 high impact news, of which 7 are positive, 1 is negative, 2 neutral, just to make sure you are aware of what all things are happening, and if you want to take actions, then you will be able to take them at the right time. Then you can further apply more filtering over here to filter them properly in which you are interested in. Like I am interested in all the high impact news associated to my portfolio, so I will do a high. So I want to focus only on positive news, so you can see all the positive news regarding my portfolio. And if I want to focus on negative news, so that comes out to be for Ease My Trip, the huge loss that it has made. So if I am aware about these type of news, I would have been able to take the actions or exited the stock at the right time. And then these are all the events, the recent events or the upcoming events associated to all your portfolio holdings. Then we have this Pulse page where you can track all the news linked to all the stocks in the market. You can do the filtering like my watch list, my portfolio, sentiment, positive, negative, impact. You can select the date range also, like in what period you want to focus on specifically. And then you can also select these tags. So this type of detailing you will not be able to see anywhere else, like the detailing with which we have added these tags. So in results also we have further classified them as quarterly results, annual results, standalone results. And if we see this thing, business operations and strategic developments, we have the option to select for new orders, strategic partnerships, joint ventures, product launches, capex. I think these are very critical events which an investor focuses on. So you can do such targeted search as well. And then if you don't want to open this again and again daily, the best thing for you is alerts. Like if you want to leverage the momentum whenever any big event happens, so if you want to leverage that, you can go to alerts, and then you can create your first alert. You can select what all stocks you want to place alert on. You can select the watch list or portfolio. So right now, as I don't have any watch list stock, I will click on this my portfolio, and it will automatically brings in all my portfolio stocks. And then you have to provide your phone number, and when it is done, you have to click on create alert. So as soon as you do this, you will also get one message on your WhatsApp. Just make sure you have received that. If you have not, then it's possible that you will not get the future alerts on your WhatsApp. So just make sure you get that, and after clicking on manage alerts, it will automatically be activated. Earlier you had to click on activate button also, but many people were facing various issues. So what we have done is we have already activated this alert by default, and once you want to pause the alerts, you can just click on this pause button and automatically this will get paused. Now coming to screener finally, I will not go into much detail for this feature as already the video has become too long. So what I just wanted to cover over here is, you can basically generally when you screen stocks over screener.in or ticker tape, you have to select the metrics by yourself. But generally as a normal investor, many times you don't know what all metrics to focus on. And generally what happens is, certain event happen and you want to select or find the stocks related to that specific event. So that type of things are not possible via traditional screeners, and they are very complex too, because you have to be aware of all the financial metrics beforehand itself. So here what you can do is, you can just write any random query here, and automatically the AI agent will convert that into a structured system native query and will filter all the stocks for you. You can also select the pre-built prompts over here which we have made for you, or you can type anything like stocks in IT sector with increasing promoter holding, and just click on generate screen. You can also explore the pre-built screens as well, which have been built by experts, so you can just play around with them as well. It has added a condition that promoter holding change percentage quarterly greater than 0, or promoter holding percentage greater than 0%. If you want to change these conditions also, you can do that. You can click on edit and play around with these, like you can select more sectors or industries or tags. You can also select the news tags as well, like if you want to take a recent qualitative event sentiment also into consideration. Since we have specified IT stocks, so it has selected the sector as information technology and it has given us the response. So this was what Prysm is all about. You can explore all these features in more depth, but I think I have given you a basic overview, not a basic, in-depth overview of all these features, how you can utilize all these features in your daily life. Coming back, like this is your dashboard, your go-to dashboard, which you can visit daily once, or maybe every 2-3 days, or maybe once in a week, to keep updated with all the things that are happening across your portfolio and your watchlist stocks. So yeah, this was all about Prysm. If you have any other questions, then feel free to email us, or maybe you can join our WhatsApp community. You can message us there, and we are always happy to help you out. Thank you.